So we've hit a problem.
ठीक है, then this is touching, which means I have to take it away. फिर यहाँ पर
Hey guys, welcome to episode 6 of the Yamaha R1 build. I hope you've enjoyed it so far. In this episode, we are going to make the motorcycle a rolling chassis. So wheels will go on, suspension rear is already on, front will go on, rear wheel bearings and all of that is going to go on. Before we go ahead, we were going to put the wiring harness also, but there's a slight change in plan. We have decided to go for a full fuel management suite. We are going with Race Dynamics, make in India. So we are going for the Powertronics V4. That's on order. As soon as that comes in, we are going to, since we have the wiring harness out, we are going to lay the wires with the wiring harness outside of the motorcycle and then put the whole harness together. That's why the harness is a little bit delayed. Now for the interesting bit. This is the color of the rims that the owner has gone for. So we've got these painted. You'll get an idea as to the color scheme of the motorcycle from this. This paint job is a budget paint job. Okay, it's not been done to the highest quality. As you can see, the painters did not even care about removing the old paint out before getting the paint rim painted, which is what you get when you do a budget paint job. We do a variety of paint jobs. You can do extremely low budget, mid budget, high budget and extremely high budget. You have a variety of paint options to choose from. This is the budget option, which is why you get a little bit lower finish level. The other thing also, what the painters don't do is, if you come and look here closely, this is where the brake disc sits and they have painted on the surface, which means what is going to happen is the disc is going to sit slightly on the outside. It's a very minute thing, but we care about that. We've started to chip the paint off as where the disc sits, so we're going to clean that surface and the thread also inside. So the thread inside has also got paint. It's not going to work like that. So we've got taps, dies. We are going to chip these paints off, change wheel bearings. Vignesh is already working on the rear wheel bearing. Once this is done, we're going to change the wheel bearing, assemble the wheels with the disc and everything. Rear sprocket and everything goes on, fresh drum rubbers, all of that, and then we make the motorcycle rolling. So we've hit a problem. There's a spacer that goes inside the rear wheel. I'll quickly show it to you. So if you look here, there's the wheel, there are multiple bearings. This little spacer number 6 right here, that we are unable to find. Whenever we do such a long build, and if it is standing for a long while, this is an issue that we sometimes face. I was surprised that till now we've not faced any such problem, and now we have. I can make that spacer. That is one solution. I mean, of course we can order the spacer, but then we don't know how long it's going to take and when it will come and so on. It's just plain little metal piece as a spacer. If there's a damaged spacer, we make it all the time. I can make that spacer. The only problem is I don't know the dimensions of those spacers. And R1 being an R1, it's a rare motorcycle. It's not like I can call for a spare motorcycle, come, I'll check the size and then, give you the motorcycle. It's a rare motorcycle to come by, especially this year. So we are trying to figure out what to do with it. We can't really do much as of now, but we'll figure some solution out. That's one roadblock that we've hit. Meanwhile, we have, I'll show you. So we have all of these surfaces nice and clean. You can see the tap inside. All the threads are nice and clean. We can mount the disc onto the rim. These are the bolts for the front disc. They are not damaged, but they just don't look good cosmetically. I am not, with the new rims painted and everything, I am not happy with putting these back. This is the old disc. It does not need to be scrubbed or anything. It looks pretty decent. There's a little bit of corrosion here and there, but that's okay. Now the clean bolts look much better than the rusted ones. So we'll go ahead and install all of these and then the wheel will be ready. Guys, a lot of work has been done. Wiring and everything has been placed. Sorry, I could not record everything. We just went on with a lot of work. Now we have the exhaust ports here. These are exhaust stud bolts. As you can see, they are very rusted. When we were getting the exhaust out, a few of them came out. But these bolts, 3 of them precisely, are stuck. We have new bolts. We did not get them from Yamaha, but we got them made. But these 3 bolts are stuck. We are trying to get them off somehow. So this is called a double nut system. What we do is we put one nut in, we put the second nut in, because there's no way we can hold this bolt. We put one nut in, the second nut in, and then we try to open the first nut. It goes and sticks against the second nut, and both of them then try to spin the bolt. We're trying that. It's not working. It has already failed on the third one that you see there. So we are trying that. What we are going to do now is blowtorch this and see if the heat helps. So we've got all the bolts out. We are stuck with one last one. We tried the double nut method as you saw, but on this last bolt it's so tight that the nut tore the thread on the stud bolt. What we are going to do now is I'll have to get this pipe out. But once I get this pipe out, I have the nut in place. So you see this nut is in place right here, and in this cavity we are going to weld it. So we will weld the nut to the stud, and then it cannot slip anymore. Then we will heat it up again. The welding will of course heat it a little bit, and then we'll heat it up again. That should crack it loose.
Finally.
This is what we lost. What we did was, this is the wheel spacer on the rear which we spoke about. What we did was, we had a very good client of ours, a friend who has an FZ1, and we figured out that the the rear wheel of the FZ1 and the R1 is identical. The part number of the spacer is identical. So we called for that motorcycle, took the spacer out, measured it, got the exact dimensions, and got this machined. So this is going to work. This goes in, rear wheel bearing goes in, rear wheel can be fixed to the bike. New finding. Okay, so we were getting pretty close to assembling the motorcycle. As you can see, throttle body is in. We are getting ready to put the airbox. Vignesh was putting water in so that we could run. These little end cans are there, which I will explain later. But when he was filling the water, we found that there was a leak, and we were surprised to find that, because all the pipes and everything and the clamps and everything are new. So the coolant was leaking from the thermostat box. Vignesh, show me the thermostat box. So this is the thermostat box, and the coolant was leaking from here. We did not see any coolant leaking before we disassembled the motorcycle, so we kept the thermostat as it is. My mistake. Should never leave anything or have any faith that things will be proper in the motorcycle, because this is a thermostat. This has a valve inside which is supposed to open at a certain temperature and cool the motorcycle down. Well, voila, there's nothing inside. We had the motorcycle standing for 1 year and we did not see that there's no thermostat valve inside the thermostat box. Oh, knowing how difficult it is to order parts from Yamaha and getting them. Ordering is not difficult, getting them is difficult. That's the tricky bit. We don't know what we are going to do as of now. We can solve the leak, just change the O-ring and solve the leak. But there's no thermostat in the bike. Brilliant. So we are ignoring the thermostat problem as of now, letting it go. We'll luckily, we can start the motorcycle without the thermostat. The cooling system will still work. It's just that we will have to really give time for the motorcycle to warm up every time we start the motorcycle till we solve the thermostat problem. But if we wait for a new thermostat, it's going to be too long. So I'm leaving the front end as it is right now till we figure out what we're doing with the thermostat. Take my mind off it. And a bunch of panels came in yesterday from paint, so we are going to start assembling the rear of the motorcycle. The whole wiring bunch at the rear has been bugging me because I feel that it's still pending, it's still a bit untidy. So I'm going to sort all of the tail section out today with the whole panel, tail light, everything. What I did was, this is the under tray which sits under the tail, sealing that up. This has a bunch of foam inserts stopping dirt and everything from going in, and vibrations. These are all withered away, 14-year-old motorcycle. So we've got new of them and they came. So we installed them. Installed a brand new heat shield for the exhaust on the bottom of this, which was not there. Not that someone could take it off, it just withered away. This is the battery box. There's one of the heat shields that go on the bottom of the battery box also. That also a new one has come, so we will just quickly install that. Pretty straightforward. Okay, that's that. So it's brand new, this can go in. All of this helps with dampening and vibrations and a lot to do with heat and everything. That's that. Let's get the rear wrapped up. We did not shoot a YouTube video when we cranked the motorcycle, so a lot of the stuff went on the Instagram live. If you followed us on the Instagram live, then you must have watched that live session. If not, you can follow us on Instagram. We are at the Zenngine on Instagram as well. So a lot of progress has happened. You must have seen a few of the Instagram clips. We are really happy with all of the work that has gone on. The bike finally fired up. I was really unsure whether it is going to do that or not. So we are happy with that. Next steps, we need to make the bike rideable. So chain needs to go on, braking system. The brake system is getting serviced as we speak. New lines are in. I have to show you that. So new brake lines are in. The whole caliper is getting rebuilt. Master cylinder is getting rebuilt. Lot of work to happen. I have to figure out what to do with the exhaust. So here's the story of the exhaust. These are knockoff exhausts. We don't want to spend too much on a brand new exhaust. We can get a brand new Akrapo, which exhaust looks beautiful, carbon fiber and everything, but it is very expensive. We cannot afford to spend that much on a budget superbike build. So we've been trying to look for used ones, any decent used ones that we could find. We did not find any as of now, but the hunt is on. Meanwhile, we are going to use, Abhay has ordered these knockoff units. I don't like them, but we are going to use it to at least run the motorcycle. The bike has been standing for a really long time, so it's high time that we at least start working on the bike. Will this exhaust cause an issue on the motorcycle? And we get this question a lot, whether knockoff exhausts are good or bad. We don't install knockoff exhaust and we have our reasons for it. If you have an end can, your engine doesn't care what end can you have. The only thing it cares is how much air can flow through it, right? That is impacted by the diameter of the hole, the material that is here, and what is the outer diameter. That's all that matters. Your engine does not care whether this is titanium, whether it is steel, whether it is carbon fiber, whether it is plastic. it does not care. All it cares is whether the air flows out or not. So if you are installing a knockoff exhaust and the diameters and everything are okay, and you have tuned your motorcycle for those diameters, it does not matter what end cans you install. The problem comes, these end cans are manufactured in bulk, so they are not specifically suited for your particular motorcycle. That's problem one. Problem two is they are definitely inferior materials. So if you can look at the end can, Alistair, come close. So the end can, if you can look here, this is fake carbon fiber. This is just dipped carbon fiber. So this is not original carbon fiber. So you don't get that original carbon fiber and everything. The problem with that is longevity. It won't last you a long amount of time, right? Why we do not install aftermarket exhaust is because this exhaust is not made for the R1. What I mean by that? I mean that they have not done any research and development into the airflow of the exhaust or anything. So we don't know if the airflow is perfectly suited for the R1. What we are going to do is, of course, the bike is going to go on the dyno and get tuned and everything. So we will figure out a reasonable solution there, and we are assuming that the dimensions of the end can is straight up copied from Akrapovic, who've done a lot of research in their R&D lab. So that is one. Two, if you look, it's fixed right now with a bunch of cable ties. We have had to botch these link pipes to make the end cans fit, because this does not come with specific end cans for the R1. So this is something that we have done, and we have to make a mounting bracket here because there is no direct fitment to the R1 as how it fits. There's just one bracket. Now I need to connect this bracket to this chassis. There needs to be a bracket that needs to be made. That is something that I will have to make. Now the problem is, whenever we install these end cans, the people who are buying these 2,000-3,000 rupees end cans, all of this effort that I have to put in making sure the end can is installed securely, not causing any issues, all of that labor is going to be as much as the end can, which is a problem for people who buy these end cans. They don't want to pay that much, and I cannot put in that effort and not charge that amount of money. There's no point in doing that, which is why we do not install these end cans. This is obscure scenario. If the end can installation is not done properly, these fly off. There are plenty of instances of that happening, which is why we don't do that. As of now, let's get on to getting some brackets made so that the end can fits securely as of now, and we can try moving ahead with the work. See,
देखो अगर तुम थोड़ा सा ये रखोगे ना तो एटलीस्ट ये शेप, दिस टेल एंड दिस थिंग विल मैच.
See, my thing is, if I make it straight, no, ठीक है, then this is touching, which means I have to take it away. फिर यहाँ पर पूरा इतना gap है, ठीक है. If I turn this, so I can take it a little bit closer.
हाँ.
But फिर यहाँ पर वो bracket बाहर निकलेगा.
Talk to the owner once. What he feels.
वो तो ये लेकर आया ना.
But yeah, हाँ.